Hello, good morning. Hello, if you've joined me. Sorry about that, I was inviting people. I'm not doing any readings or anything today. I just wanted to come on and just share with you, really, some of my thoughts around what happened to me yesterday. And it's really interesting, and I'm sure that quite a few other people are actually feeling the same, really, to be honest, or pretty much thereabouts. And it was really interesting in so much as I felt a bit out of sorts. Now, I did a live yesterday morning and I did a card reading, and the card reading was lovely. It came out really well, and it was a good reading for the people that was on there. And so morning everyone, morning Robert, morning Lisa, nice to see you all. Hi Ron. So yeah, I did a card reading yesterday, and it was all about shining your light and you know, bringing up your energy, and really kind of like trying to get to that love and compassion, love and compassion, energetic vibration, because you know that's where we are at our best, because that's the highest vibration that you can actually you know, live your life from. And I talk a lot about energy, as you know, and it was really strange because yesterday, after I did the card reading, I decided that I was going to do a few bits of, you know, of work, because you know I'm always doing bits and bobs in the background, and all of a sudden I became really quite demotivated, and it was really strange. It was a strange feeling for me. It was a strange feeling, and I worked it out all in the end, but and I'm going to talk to you about it, because it's really something that I think that we don't necessarily recognise straight away. And it is all around us being in this situation where every day is just moulding into one, isn't it? And sometimes it's difficult to hold on to that positivity. Sometimes it's difficult to hold on to that, the affirmations, or to get your energy up and raring. You know, sometimes you sink. All of a sudden, you just sink down into this energetic vibration where, for me, it was really weird because I felt so frustrated, and I felt quite angry inside. It was really weird, and I sat there and I felt so demotivated, and I sat in my on my kitchen table, and I was trying to have a conversation with my friend, and even that was aggravating me, to be honest. Bless her. She wasn't nothing to do with her. It was all about me. It was to do with me. Nice to see you too, Ron. It was all to do with me. Unfortunately, I was able to recognise that, and yeah, frustration was really, really rife for me, and I couldn't quite understand why I felt that way. And today I know why I felt that way, because as soon as I did a few things yesterday, it all changed for me, and I got back on track. And I've made a little bit of a thing to myself as well, because you know it's all well and good, isn't it? Right? If you've been furloughed, or you know you can't go to work, you need to work from home and all the rest of it, it's great to have your conference calls in your gym jam bottoms, right? It's great because you sit and you think, this is novel, this is fantastic, you know, I'm not leaving the house, I'm just going to wear pyjamas all day, you know. And but what that does is that puts you in a headspace. It puts you in a headspace whereby you're just on this lounging about, because how many of you really, if you think about it logically, right, when you go to work, you have to wear some form of uniform, whether that's a uniform that's provided or whether that's a uniform that you provide for yourself, as in it needs to be, you know, smart casual or suit or whatever. And that's what you have to do. And you go to work, and that's your whole persona, isn't it? That's the whole thing that you do. And when we are getting up every day and we don't have this structure around us where we are not doing that, we're not putting on our uniform, our mask, our face, our persona to go out into the world, and we really are just being who we are, and we are sitting around in our pyjamas all day, well, it's only a matter of time before you're going to start to be actually non-productive. And what happened to me yesterday was one of those days, because I don't have my gym jams on today, by the way. I've decided no more. I've decided no more. I've decided no more, because it's ridiculous, right? Because your energy and what you do how you act, and your energy are all part and parcel of the same thing, right? So my frustration yesterday was all about, I do so much work in the background, I'm doing so much, and I just sat there and thought, what is the point of all of this, really? What is the bloody point? And that's because of the environment I'd found myself in, that I was in. And that was purely around the fact that I was in my pyjamas. Which I'm not going to do anymore. I'm going to get up, I'm going to show up, yeah? And I'm going to face the world with a uniform of sorts. Now, whether that turns out to be, you know, just sort of casual clothes, that's fine. But I'm going to start putting my day wear on. I think it's so important, because if you get up and you've still got your gym jams on, and you spend the day in your... I know obviously you shower and stuff in between, don't you? But you spend the day in your gym jams. You spend the night in your gym jams. No wonder the days and the nights are all becoming one, you know? They're all becoming one. And... so from now on, I am going to separate it out. So a little tip, guys. Yeah, novelty's worn off for me. I'm not interested in it anymore. The novelty is so worn off, right? You need to separate the day from the night. You have to. And if that means you have to change your clothes, I mean, I know you'd probably change your gym jams maybe twice a day or whatever, but I'm talking about put yourself into day mode. Yeah, so put yourself, wear something that you associate with day, with doing, with productiveness, with whatever that is for you. Otherwise, you're going to end up sitting in front of the telly going, watch Netflix again. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the energy that you're bringing into yourself, and it's so important. It's so important. And one of the other things that came to me was my house was so cluttered. And it's purely because I've been using my dining room as my office, and instead of putting things away, because that's all part and parcel of this energy of, oh, we'll do it later, or everything's merged into one thing, you know, I'm not separating again. And the house was so cluttered that my mind was really cluttered, and I was sitting there and I was talking to my friend, and I just kept saying to her, I just don't know what to do. And I think in the end, I think she got pissed off with me, bless her, not in a horrible way, because she's a beautiful lady, but I think more to the point that she could sense the clutteredness going on in me, and I knew it was there, and I knew it was there, and I just didn't know what to do. And I literally got off the phone to her and said, enough is enough. Enough is enough now. And I literally decluttered. And when I talk about declutter, I mean, I've thrown so much shit out. It's just stuff. I mean, what do you do with all this? It's just sitting around everywhere. And the thing is, when you move, you downsize, right? Because I did downsize, and I know I've been here a year, and I downsized, and I did try to downsize my stuff. But now what I've found is that the stuff is growing again, but the house ain't growing, is it? So I've had to declutter again. And it's so important, because what it's done is it's really lifted the energy in the house, but it's also allowed the energy to move. Because what I felt yesterday, I felt I was just so stagnant. I felt I'd got to this space where I just was like, what do? I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. I just felt so stuck. And it was such an odd feeling, because I am so productive ordinarily. You know, and if you get yourself into that space, you need to be looking around you to just think to yourself, well, what do we need to do? What do you need to do to move the energy? And decluttering is one of the most simplest things you can do that will remove the energy, it will remove the negativity. If there's any negativity knocking around, it will be because you're cluttered, yeah? because a cluttered space is a cluttered mind, and you can't get clarity then. You can't focus. You're just all scattergunning all over the place. And that's one of the easiest things to do. Declutter. It moves the energy. Because what happens is, because the energy can't move with the clutter, it stagnates. So it becomes heavy. It becomes dense. And it affects you, because we have our own energy inside of us, don't we? Right? So we have our aura, we have our chakras, we have our own energetic vibration system within us. And if you put yourself in stagnant energy, sooner or later, you will become stagnant yourself. Good morning, Betty. You will become stagnant yourself. And by moving bits and bobs about, you can get the energy flowing how it should flow. So that it can you get that rubbish out, just release it out the door, yeah? And let it flow so that you can start to refresh and get yourself refreshed. Because what else happens when you get yourself in that type of position and you become stagnant and stuck is you start to give up. You start to give up. You give up on what it is you want to do with your life. You give up on your passions, and you just sit in this stagnant, shitty space that takes you nowhere. It takes you nowhere. And you know, when you work hard every day to be the best person that you can be, you don't want to be giving up. You don't want to be giving up on your dreams. You don't want to be giving up on what it is you want to do with your life, where it is you want to be with your life. This stuff that's going on is going to end. And you know, it takes 90 days to truly break a habit or to create a habit. And I was thinking about this morning when I was reviewing, you know, my situation that had happened to me yesterday. It takes 90 days. They say it takes a month, but I don't think a month is long enough. I reckon 90 days, and that's why we'll be locked down for 3 months, right? So we break habits. That's what it's about. That's why we're going to be locked down, to break habits, okay? And if you think about in that 90 days, if you get up every morning, have a shower and then stick your pyjamas on, yeah? Don't get productive during the day like you would ordinarily within a structure. So what would you ordinarily do? You get up, you'd have a shower, whatever you do, you put your clothes on, you may make some breakfast, wash up, take the dogs out, whatever, you know. But you'll have a structure. And if you come away from that structure, what you do is you start to create new habits, right? And then before you know it, you can't break these habits because they become ingrained as part of you. So when you're sitting in this clutter, and you know, as I said, clutter will produce a cluttered mind. And when you're sitting in this, amongst other things, non-productivity, inaction, you know, all that kind of stuff, and you'll be feeding your brain with things that just don't even feed you, really. They don't nourish you. They may be feeding stuff, but they don't nourish your soul. They don't nourish your brain. And you become inactive and you just become a different person. And you will become a different person. And that's up to you if you want to become that different person. But I know that a lot of you out there don't want to become that different person because you're playing a waiting game. You're playing a waiting game like I am. We're all trying, aren't we, to just get ourselves through this stuff. Because we know at the other end we're going to be, you know, not resuming normal, but we're going to be resuming some form of normal because we will be going out, we will be going back to work. But if you start developing all these habits, how do you think you are going to ever, you know, go back into the world in a productive way? Which is more to the point, in a productive way. And I'm not talking about productivity for a company. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about for you as an individual. You know, how are you going to show up in the world when you are able to show up in the world? Because you can't go shopping. Well, you could if you wanted to, but you're not going to go shopping in your gym jams, are you? You know, you're going to have to get dressed. You're going to have to put your lippy on. You're going to have to do your hair. You're going to have to do that stuff. You're going to have to do it if you want to go back to work. So, you know, it's a perfect opportunity, and I keep saying this and I will continue to say it. It's a perfect opportunity right now to think about what habits you are creating, because time is what we have. We have that now. And that is half of the issue in some respect, because we've been given more time. Some people don't know how to use it effectively for themselves. So it's kind of like being squandered. And I've been guilty of it myself. I've done a bit of squandering, you know, but it's a gift. It's a gift to us. So, you know, think about what are you creating right now by your habits and by your actions. Are you living in clutter? And sometimes the clutter doesn't necessarily need to be around you, like bits and bobs. Sometimes it could be your mind is just cluttered because you have no clarity on what it is you want to be doing. And if that's the case, do a brain dump, journal, write it down so you can try and get some clarity about your direction. Because at the moment we're creating new habits. What habits do you want to take into your new world once lockdown is over? Think about that. Because I had to have a big think about that this morning. You know, because if you think that whatever it is you're doing right now is going to be productive for you when lockdown lifts, fine, then that is fine for you. That's absolutely fine. But I bet your bottom dollar that a lot of us are creating habits that are going to serve us no purpose. In fact, they're going to be detrimental to our growth. So it's really important. And this all came yesterday just because I felt in a shitty place. And I did. I felt demotivated, and I had to go within and find that strength to say, no, come on, what's going on here? You know, it was really odd, really odd. So never ever give up. Never give up. If you find yourself in a space where you feel demotivated, where you feel lethargic, have a look at your actions. Why did you end up there? Think about what you're doing. Think about it. Bring it into your awareness and have a conversation with yourself and say, what is this? Why am I here? Why do I feel this way? But also, more importantly, what can I do to change? What can I do to change? How would I prefer to feel? How would I prefer to feel? So what can I create to make the change? And it's so important. So yesterday I lugged furniture all over the place, and I've only got a small cottage. I've got a very small cottage, but I lugged furniture on my own all over the place, and did a declutter, got rid of some stuff, nearly caused a fire, which is another story. And all of a sudden, literally after I'd done that, the energy cleared, my energetic vibration increased, and you know, today's a completely different story. So I'm just going to check the comments from my computer, hopefully, because I don't always see them on there. So it's really important, I suppose, what I'm saying. Get up, you know, show up, show up. It's really important to get up and show up. You know, put your day clothes on. Put your day clothes on. Right, so I'm just checking. Betty's saying she will change a lot when I leave the hospital. Oh, you're in rehab, that's right, I remember. Oh, you're always in my prayers, Betty. Lisa, I have I have no clutter. I know you wouldn't have any clutter. But whilst we're talking about clutter, Lisa, I'm also talking about clutter in the mind. Because clutter in the mind is just as pertinent as clutter in the house. If you've got a free house, likelihood is you'll have a less cluttered mind. But sometimes because we don't have that clarity of vision right now of where we're going and what we're doing, because we're dropping out really of society in a certain way, in a particular way that we're used to having, you know, we're taking on this different kind of persona. So it's about making sure we keep focused and getting the clutter gone from the brain in that respect. So yeah, let's see who else is. I'm just looking at the comments now. Yeah, everyone has that. Everyone has what? Sorry, I don't understand that one, Betty. So yeah, have a look around you. Get up, get dressed, show up. They're the 3 things that you can do right now that can bring you some kind of normality, if you like, to keep you in the present, to prevent you from stagnating, and to keep you motivated. Get up, get dressed, show up. Yeah, show up as the person that you want to be when lockdown is finished. So on that note, I hope you all have a blessed day, and I will be back again soon. So take care. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've watched the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay, and I will speak to you again soon. Hope that helps. Take care. Bye.